Today we're going to talk about, is Andrew Tate on steroids or not? Since he's been released on house arrest, he's been posting a lot more videos recently on social media, and in the majority of the videos, he's got his top off showing his physique. The first video which he released of him pacing back and forth, you can see he had a lot more body fat on him, and he was definitely bulked up a little bit. When that video came out, we done a little bit of a breakdown on his physique. You can go and check that out up here, where we talk about if he's built muscle or is it just fat that he's gained. But in some more of his recent videos, he seemed like he's trimmed up a little bit, which is probably down to the fact that he's eating better foods. Now, when you're in prison, you're not really eating good, nutritious foods, probably high calorie, high fat, processed foods in prison. Whereas now that he's back in a little bit more of a normal routine, he's obviously going to be eating better. We know he's also got a home gym, and assuming that the police haven't seized that from him and Tristan, then he's probably got a lot more equipment to have better workouts now rather than just doing thousands of press-ups. So definitely over the coming weeks, we're going to see him strip up a little bit. And the other day, he posted this photo where he's looking in the mirror, tensing his traps, tensing his delts. And for any of the Andrew Tate Top G fans out there, you'll know that this is a recreation of one of his previous photos that went viral, shown here. I can see why he's recreated this picture because it's quite an iconic photo of his. So if we put the photos beside each other, we can take a look at how his physique has changed since he's been in prison. Now, what can we see here? Obviously, he's not as lean as he is in the previous photo. You can see previously he had abs. He's got a lot more striations in his delts and his triceps. But taking a look at this new picture, although he's got a lot more body fat on him, it doesn't really look like he's lost much muscle size. His delts are still quite big, his triceps and traps are still popping out, and take a look at his chest. Look at how much more mass he has on his chest, and I just don't think that's body fat. I think that's probably down to the sheer amount of press-up volume that he's been doing in prison. So if anything, over the coming months, when he starts getting leaner and leaner, his chest might actually be a lot bigger, and it's hard to tell from this angle, but even his delts might be a little bit bigger, and quite possibly his triceps, which, as I said in the last video, is just down to the sheer amount of volume that he's been doing with the press-ups. So anyway, the reason for this video's title is because, has someone accused Andrew of being on steroids? Because with this photo, he attached the tweet, "I am on precisely 0 steroids or TRT of any kind, never have been, never taken them in my life, ever. I am a man who eats once a day and trains, that is all. I swear this before God. I will take and pass any test. Try me, except I am a genetic specimen of absolute brilliance, God's soldier, powerful beyond belief. I do not need drugs, I am not you, I am me." I mean, that tweet absolutely summarizes Tate down to a T, braggadocious but also confident. And what's interesting about this tweet is he says, "I am a man who eats once per day." Now, this is something he said multiple times before, but one could think, well, if he's only eating once per day, how does he look so jacked? Well, the thing is, meal frequency doesn't actually really matter. You've probably heard, if you want to build muscle, you need to eat multiple times per day. So how is Andrew looking this jacked and he's only eating once per day? Well, the whole meal frequency thing is a complete myth. It doesn't matter if you're eating 8 meals a day or just having 1 meal a day. What more so matters is the total amount of calories and the total amount of protein that you're consuming. That is what's going to dictate where your body composition goes. So you could eat once per day, but that meal is 5,000 calories and you will get fatter. Or you can eat 8 times a day and those 8 meals only total to 2,000 calories and you can lose fat. As I say, what more so matters is the calories. Now, here's the thing with Andrew, he probably eats close to maintenance calories. He probably has some days where he's eating below maintenance calories, then some day where he's eating over maintenance, and then other days where he's hitting maintenance spot on. And a common myth is that you can't build muscle if you do this, which is completely false. You can build muscle eating at maintenance or even in a deficit. It just takes a little bit longer, and there's a lot of different factors that go into this. So if you're in a calorie deficit, you can still build muscle as long as you have enough body fat to lose, your protein is high enough, and you're training really hard. And then also if you're coming off a period of detraining where you haven't really trained that much. So it is completely possible for Andrew to build muscle and look the way he does without steroids. You've got to remember, he's also tall, he's got a big frame, and with that comes the ability to hold more muscle. What we also have to remember is this is really good lighting. Anytime you're under down lighting, the shadows on your physique make your muscles pop a lot more. I can literally look like I'm on steroids under good lighting and then look like I don't even lift under bad lighting, and anyone who lifts understands this. So not everyone is on steroids. Do I believe Andrew Tate is natural? I actually do. He's never made any crazy progress out of nowhere, and some people might refer back to his kickboxing days when he was a little bit leaner and didn't have as much muscle on his frame, and then they'll say, yeah, but look at him now, look at how much muscle he's gained since his kickboxing days. You have to remember, when you're just kickboxing all the time, you don't really have the ability to put on muscle. You've always got to keep your weight under control. You're always dieting down to make weight. It's predominantly endurance and cardio work that you're doing. So the moment that you stop the weight cuts and stop all the cardio and start doing strength training, you're going to be a hyper responder. Your body's going to make loads of progress because now you're finally feeding it it and not restricting your calories all the time. So this is why Andrew Tate will have made some decent gains from his kickboxing days. What do you think about this? Do you think he's natural? Do you think he's ever taken gear? Comment down below, let me know. Also, boys, I know some of you are already catching on to this, but if you don't know, I'm a rapper. I make raw hip-hop music, and I've got so much music coming out over the course of this year. So if you're into raw hip-hop, lyricism, and heavy beats, then go and check out my music channel and my Spotify. I'll drop the links down below. I've got a new song coming out next week, Friday the 28th. Okay, nice one, boys. If you enjoyed this video, check out some of my other videos right here. We upload every single day on this channel. Man content, fitness, dating, relationships, self-development, mindset, confidence building, everything and anything that's going to make you a better man. Okay, I'll see you all tomorrow.